Spensky.
There you go.
All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to Locker Room Access. I'm joined by my man, Josh, coming to us from, where are you from, Josh? Where are you right now?
Stewart's Draft.
Okay. And Fresh coming to us from the kitchen up in Jersey City, New Jersey. Hey, boys. Hey, Fresh, it's good you're in the kitchen because it's gonna be cooking today. Oh, Fresh is doing something. It's gonna be cooking today, man. This is a big game, right? So
Yep.
there's no must wins in mid-January, but this comes about as close to a must win I think that we can possibly get. Virginia taking on the Demon Deacons. And I had to do a little research on that. I thought it was like a satanic cult / devil worshiper type feel. But no, it's talking about they're a religious school that was founded, and the demon refers to their fighting spirit. So anyway, we've got a big one here today, boys. Lots happening. Let's just kind of recap. We've had a long break, right? A long break, which is great for Forum because everyone gets to torture themselves for about 7 days,
Yep.
waiting for the next game. There's nothing like a new game to turn the page. I'm hoping we can do it. Fresh, coming out of the NC State loss, which was gross. How do you feel about today? Take people through what probably went down this week. 6 whole days to prepare, right? They had to travel yesterday, so 6 days to prepare. What went down at JPJ / practice? How was it for the players?
I think the first 2 days back, you do the film review, you show guys all that. I have a lot of thoughts about the NC State game, but that's okay. I think the first 2 days were like back to basics. Like you probably went back to like preseason practice when you're like, are we ever shooting the ball? Are we ever touching a ball again? That type of thing. I don't think the weight preparation came in until, like day 3. And probably the coaches, I bet this coaching staff did some soul searching on this one. I like watched a lot, looked a lot. What can we change, not change? And from what I've heard, there's supposedly a major change coming today in the game.
Yeah, you know what? So, yeah, I agree. So, like, as hard as it is for fans to go a week after a tough loss, this was like Christmas in January for the coaches, right? Yes. They were able to huddle up, take a deep breath, look at everything, and reevaluate kind of where we are and what we're doing. Couple people coming in. Hey, Jen, we love you when you show up. So, Josh, coming out of the NC State game, you're a big fan. You follow. What are you hoping we see? Are there lineup changes? Are there strategy changes? Or does Tony double down and say, I'm not changing anything. We're going to win on our terms?
I think that's kind of a interesting question. I would say that first thing you got to look at is, even going back to before the season started, right? This is a team with a lot of talent, even though, there's been times they haven't shown it yet. A guy like Reese doesn't come back if he doesn't think the team's going to be any good, that's a big factor into it as well. So I think the coaches, like you were saying with the Christmas in July January reference, it's kind of a big challenge for them, because they're looking at it and they're like, look, we have the pieces that can play better. And even they've shown better. I've seen a stat this past week that said they're a top 10 team playing at home this year as far as efficiency goes. Problem is they've been so bad on the road, and other than the Florida game and the neutral games, they've been not great either. So I think they probably kind of doubled down on, okay, like, how do we get to where we need to be? I do think strategy-wise, this would be a good game to see more of the big lineup, I guess I'll call it, where instead of maybe having a guy like Rhodey in the 3 spot, you could go to using 3 of the more traditional bigs, maybe slide Dunn down, try to get Bond in at the 3 maybe a little bit. But yeah, I think it's been kind of alluded to on the forum. Anybody watching, if you're not there, maybe go check it out, that there might be a little lineup change here. So I guess we'll find out in the next 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, fresh. So I just asked Josh, we talked about the big break. It's an opportunity for coaches. They did some soul searching. A lot of activity on forum on this. Do you think we will see a definitive change either in lineup, strategy, or minute allocation?
I think absolutely. I think someone alluded to the rumor that they may or may not know that there's going to be a capital M major change, not to be confused with the word minor change.
Oh,
sounds
I like that.
Possibly we'll have Jordan entering the starting lineup or playing a bigger role. I'm not sure which. Things you tweak. What my biggest gripe in the NC State game, and I've said it over and over, is we don't move off of the ball on offense. And when we do, we'll get Blake Buchanan. It's just an example. But Blake, Rhodey went to the basket. Blake turned 30 feet away and went the other direction to screen Ryan Dunn, who had just passed Rhodey the ball when the play's going toward the basket, right? NC State was cutting. Casey Morcell got stuck in the middle of the lane, almost a 3-second call. They cut back door behind. It happened to be Rhodey, but it could have been anybody. I think they're going to look at it and say, how can we improve our off-ball play offensively? That's what I would do.
All right. So I have a debate. So I always read Cuts from the Corner, who puts out an absolute thesis once a week. It's awesome. Usually both my legs fall asleep while I read it, and that will give you an idea of where I'm usually reading it. But Cuts is awesome. He's very thorough in his breakdown. I made the comment on forum, hey, our defense is okay. We're not terrible. Like we're better than a lot of teams. Is our defense the problem or is our offense the problem? I contended that we can't shoot and our offense is the problem. But Josh, I'll throw it to you. You got to vote offense or defense. Which is the biggest problem for us? You can't hedge.
Yeah, it's so easy to say both when there's issues, throwing a little bit both ways. No, I'll lean with you though and say the offense, because I think if we had more guys who could maybe facilitate a little bit more like Rhodey's been able to do, it would offer maybe some more lineup variability for what the coaches want to do. So I think that's been a lot of the issue holding them up so far.
All right, Fresh, I'm going to throw to you, but before I do, I want to make one point that backs up my argument that the reason we're struggling is we can't shoot. So Isaac has been like up and down, but like still incredible, right? When you look at his sum total, he's unreal. If you adjust him down to a 40% shooter, we're like 79th right now in our shooting percentages. If you adjust him down to 40, which I think he will move down to, we're at like 279, right above Idaho. So my contention is that shooting is the issue. Our defense, while it's not like the best defense we've ever had, it's still really good. Like, we're a good defensive team.
Yep.
Is it offense or defense that's holding us back right now?
Oh man, this is, I have too many thoughts on it. I'm gonna say our defense has to improve. How about that? I think offense, you make shots or you don't. To the Isaac McNeely point, him coming out of the gates and shooting 60% for the first month of the season, it's just not going to happen. So when he has a game where he misses, a couple or shoots 33%, all of a sudden we're like he's in a shooting slump. No, he's not. He was just going off in the beginning. I think defensively, I see guys lost too much. Ryan Dunn, you're not a freshman anymore at all, right? He's jumpy. He's jumpy around. I think he read a lot of how he's the best defender in the country, which he might be off potential. But you make sound, the best defenders are sound defenders, right? It's not just steals, Mookie Blaylock, and block shots and these things. I think there's a lot of non-continuousness. I think a lot of ball watching on our defense. I think the defense, I think it starts with defense. Shots you're going to make it, you're not. That's individual, right? What does Rhodey want to do with his time, his extra time? What is Reese doing with his extra time? What's Elijah doing? On and on. But I think defense is the core, and that's the team play.
Oh, we got a guest here, my man Ty. Hey, what is he wearing? What is he wearing?
He asked for a North Carolina jersey for Christmas.
Hey, Ty, right now, go to the bathroom, turn the lights off, and lock yourself in the bathroom. You're punished for 1 hour. You can't wear that shirt on this show, homeboy. I know they're winning. They're beating Syracuse by a lot, but hey, man, we love you. If you want to go to Carolina,
it better be free. I'll tell you that much. If he wants to go to Carolina, it better be for free.
That's right.
Look,
that's so good.
All right, guys, you're off. Goodbye.
Good seeing the kids. Everybody looks good. All right, let's get to we're going to get to Wake Forest right now. I'm going to give a little review, and then I'm going to ask you guys to comment. So Wake is 11-4. They're 3-1 in conference, and they got here a different way than we did. We won early and lost late. They lost early and won late. They lost early to Georgia, Utah, and LSU in pretty close games. But they're on a 9-game winning streak right now, and they were 3-0 in the ACC until they lost to Florida State the other night. Florida State's like out of nowhere, kind of a hot team. Fresh, you're going to get the ball out and ding me, but KenPom has them ranked as a 43. They're ranked number 43 in KenPom. This team is really good offensively, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. And normally when you see that, you see a really bad defensive team, but no, they're like okay. They're like a B- defensively, so we're not terrible. They're 27th in the country shooting. And here's the main thing. They make free throws, something we don't, something we have to do. I'll get to that later. Let's talk about their players real quick. They are winning. They're winning in the portal. So, I'm not talking about just this year, but just in aggregate. Let's go through it. Boopy Miller, which is ironic because my parents almost named me Boopy, but they went with Christopher Evans instead. It was close. It was a toss-up. But Boopy, 18 points per game, coming from Central Michigan. That guy can play. I've watched a couple games. Boopy can hoop. Hunter Salas, he's a Gonzaga guy. I think 2 years ago he came. He's also at 18 points per game, and he's had 7 20-plus games in a row. Cam Hildreth, the guy voted most likely to have tea and crumpets at any minute. The Brit from England, really good player, 17 points per game, and he's had 2 23-plus point games in the last week. And then Efton Reed, he's from Richmond, so I always hate when a school has a Virginia kid. He's from Richmond. He's well-traveled, right? He was LSU commit, went to Gonzaga. He's on his third stop. He's the big fella. They have a 9-man rotation. 9 guys play over 10 minutes. The guy that I was really impressed with watching the Florida State game is a freshman from Oklahoma. He's kind of like IMAC last year. Very similar. Parker Fredrickson is nasty. Don't leave him open. He had 13 against FSU in 19 minutes or something like that. He can hoop. Really good shooter. 43% from the three-point line. So here's what scares me. Just in summary, they have 4 guys. Boopy Miller, Hunter Salas, Cam Hildreth, and Andrew Carr, who I didn't mention, who's 6'10". All of them average more than our top scorer. Reese is our top scorer. They all average more than Reese. They have 4 guys in the top 30 in scoring in the ACC. They can fill it up, and they're not bad at D. So It's going to be a tough one. With that, I'm going to throw it to Fresh. Fresh, anything to add on that you like? I know you had some recollections from last year around guard play and what they tried to do.
Yep, that's it. That's exactly what their guards have changed. Their best player, in my opinion, is not even playing. He ripped his knee. What's his name, Josh?
Monsanto.
Yeah, Monsanto.
Monsanto. That's how you say it.
Yeah, he's a fertilizer maker, actually.
That was an authentic pronunciation, Josh. By the way, do you speak multiple languages?
English and gibberish. Yeah.
What Wade did last year is they went at Kihei Clark for other reasons, and they went at Reese because they know the Tony Bennett 2-foul rule, right? Which is famous. The Ty would purposely not foul to not come out of games. And by the end of the first half, we had young Isaac McNeely, not so young anymore, running the point. But they really attack. They really go at your guards on offense. Now, I think Wake is extremely soft inside. I think Efton, is it Efton's his name?
Efton Reed.
Efton, he's new, I think, or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't really know him. I know him because of forum and recruiting, and et cetera, but I've never really seen him play. I think we exploit the inside, and I think that's why Minor is has a major chance to start today.
We're gonna get to the forum vibes in a minute, but Josh, any other thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, first, you're going to have to collaborate to do some of these previews because, man, you ran down that roster pretty good there. I like that. But yeah, I'll throw in there with Efton. He actually had to get a late waiver to be able to play this year because of the number of transfers. So this is
played like 9 games, right? He's played like 8 or 9 games.
He's played 8. This will be 9.
Okay.
But he kind of settled in as their starting center. He's the most modest, like you said, of the starting bunch because they're, 4 of the top 5 there are absolute killers. I mean, they're pretty good. I kind of do agree with Fresh a little bit that they might be a little soft, but they also have length. So it's kind of like you got to contend both ways there. It'd be nice if they were soft and their 4-man was 6'7" instead of 6'10", but we'll see what happens. I kind of agree, though. I mean, yeah, it's a good game where we should be able to attack more. There's this smoke about Minor, but personally, I was kind of hoping to see Blake as the aggressive version like we saw against Florida.
I totally agree. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and the other thing, everyone's leaving this one guy out, but I've been impressed with him, and he's averaging almost 15 a game, is Andrew Carr.
Mm-hmm.
6'10". Like, he doesn't get mentioned a lot, but he's averaging more than our best player by like 3 points. So he's real, and he's 6'10". All right, I'm gonna shift over. We're gonna go into locker room access vibes right now. To sum it up, I think the vibes are down, but the hope is kind of up. And all the talk today was about a new starting lineup. Do we see it? It's a yes or no, and then we'll go around. And then the second question is who starts. So, Fresh, do we see a new starting lineup today or not?
I'm reading the tea leaves, and if you guys all on here know locker room access, man. We have people. It's not me. I didn't talk to Jason Williford. I didn't talk to Coach Bennett, Coach Coleman, Zay, anybody. I don't know. Someone alluded to the fact that we do see a different lineup, and it'll be Minor, Jordan Minor. I do not know that, but I wouldn't. I agree. I agree with Josh. I was expecting Blake to come out against Wake's soft ass interior, and go off. But I think it's going to be Jordan.
Okay. Josh, agree, disagree with that? What's up?
Yeah, I mean, generally where there's smoke, there's fire. So LRA is a pretty good group. The forum is pretty tight-knit, but it's guys that know generally what they're talking about. So I kind of do tend to agree. I personally thought that at first the smoke was going to be the new lineup would just be going with 3 big guys, maybe moving Dunn down to the 3, playing Groves because I think he kind of matches up better with Carr. And then going to Blake because, like I said, I wanted to see him maybe be more aggressive like he was against the big guy for Florida, trying to just attack as much as possible. So, yeah, I do think it'll be a new lineup. I've got my Twitter up here. I'm kind of refreshing every couple seconds, waiting on them to put the lineup out so I can throw it in as soon as we get it with the smoke around Minor to see if it is him.
Well, tell me before. Actually, I'll answer before. So I'll disagree with both you guys. I will say that based on Tony's track record, I'm going to say that he's going to start the game, the same group that started against NC State. I don't know if I believe that. I'm just going to be a dissenting opinion as we go forward. If someone does get inserted into the starting lineup, Fresh, who do you think is the new face? You said Minor. Are you sticking with that?
It just got announced.
Yeah, so if I can jump in, it's in there. Yep.
As I was saying, I think Jordan Minor is going to start. Oh,
Can I take a half credit for Dunn and Jake though? Get a half point there. Just wasn't Blake. It was
yes. All right, good stuff. Hey, man, our forum people know stuff. I love it. This is exciting. Hey, this is why he came to Virginia.
Yep.
This is what he dreamed of when he was playing at Merrimack. And I know Merrimack. I'm from Massachusetts. The difference between Merrimack and UVA is like going from like a Rolls Royce to a moped. Like it's not like it is a big difference. That kid has battled, and I'm happy to see him get the start today. I think it was a result of his good, solid play. We've only got a couple minutes, so Fresh, keys to the game today. What are 3 things that you want to see out of us offensively, defensively, or strategy-wise?
I'm going to tell you the key is we got to stop the top boy summer house guy. What's his name? Hilbert?
Hoopy Miller.
No, the redheaded guy from England.
The what?
The redheaded guy from England. Is it Hildreth?
Cam Hildreth.
Yep.
You can't let him go off. And some people might get that top boy reference. I think we need to stop him. I love Rhodey coming off the bench. I think he'll be first off the bench. He can replace 3 players. The lineup's more versatile, if you will, more diversity in the lineup that way. And I think Rhodey is gonna, he's probably done some soul searching, had some time. If he's been hurt, he feels better. And I think, how about this one? Along with that is overall bench play by us. I don't think our bench had any points against NC State until maybe 5 minutes left in the game or something. It was atrocious. I think our bench has got to be ready to contribute.
Okay, Josh, three keys that you want to see for us to the game.
Number 1, just not letting things tend to snowball the way they do. I've just come to accept at this point, as being a Virginia fan, a team is going to hit a crazy buzzer-beating banked-in 3 against us. That's just going to happen. Apparently, it's a DNA thing where we just get hit with those, right at the end of the shot clock. So I'd like to first see this team not seem to get rattled by that. Key number 2, I would say just staying aggressive. So many times, man, we've had guys, when you talk about the shooting, a lot of the problem I've seen has been, instead of taking the open shot on the first look, we'll pump fake, we'll go for a drive, we'll look to just pass it around the perimeter at extra time.
Yeah.
It's always good to make the extra pass, but sometimes you can overthink things, So I'd like to see these guys just be more confident themselves with that and try to get their shots when they can, be aggressive in getting at it. And then third, I guess just hopefully, this should have been pounded pretty hard with the extra week of practice, but the rotations, just everybody's staying awake on defense, not watching the ball, moving to where you need to be, kind of playing your space.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Regardless of what happens today, the Locker Room Access Forum gets a big W for calling out the lineup change. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Huge.
Way to go, fans. You guys are solid. Here's my 3. I have 3 things that I want to talk about. So, number 1, important we get off to a good start in the first 5 minutes. We've been really bad about that, and especially with a new lineup. The first 5 plays, the first 5 minutes, let's have some success. Let's not go down like 9-0. I think I said that last game, but it's true. It's good for confidence. It's good for momentum, all that. Number 2, Fresh alluded to it in his comments. Wake is strategic. I think they will try to get Reese in foul trouble because our team is very different without Reese. Let's avoid foul trouble. They have a knack for doing this. I saw it against in a couple of their games, but when Fresh brought it up to me, I looked at that. They were going for it, so let's avoid it. And then here's a good one. Here's a good old school one that, like, every coach in the country will say to their kids down to about middle school, let's make free throws. Can we make free throws? Can we make some free throws and, like, shoot, like, 82% for a game instead of for whatever reason, it's become like sort of an unspoken taboo concept to make free throws for us. So, hey, I don't take this stuff lightly. I've only done this once before, where it was last year when we beat Duke, when Reese hit the shot. Everybody remembers that. The jersey is 1-0, and you might be wondering why I'm wearing a robe. But and maybe this sends a message to Tony a little bit. But we're bringing out the orange.
Oh,
We're bringing out the orange. It's the orange mesh, Fresh, not the shiny. Not the shiny orange.
And you had with the flag. That was the Gulf War.
That was 92. This is 92. I bring it out for important games. This is an important game. We've got to do it. Hey, Tony, check it out. It looks really good. It's not my skin tone, but, some of the guys will look good in it. Let's go with predictions. We always do this. Winner and score. I'm going to write them down. Fresh, go up first.
Put that jersey in the Raptors. I'm not sure which Raptors. Just get it in the Raptors. That's amazing.
Yeah, I did. I have to say, I did lose an areola putting it on. It's like a cheese grater. So I'm gonna have to go to urgent care after the game and get that repaired. But I'm fine and I'm fighting through it. I'm playing hurt. Fresh, who's gonna win and what's the score?
University of Virginia 75-74.
75-74. Joshy, what do you got for us?
okay. So quick two things. First, watching Wake, they do like to push the ball. Number two, the betting lines have gone up about 2 points. It's now at Wake by 6.5. I don't like to think the Sharks know anything this time, so I'm going to take Virginia 67-63.
Ooh, okay.
67-63.
Yeah, look, I thought that line was low. I thought it would move up. It did. I think we're really hard to handicap, especially on the road. I think it's going to be a close game. I'll just dissent to make it more fun. I'm going to say Wake, and I'm going to say 65-63. So I'm close to you, Josh, but I'll say Wake, just so we have some diversity of opinion. Hey, guys, thanks for joining. Pregame show. We'll be back at the half. We're going to be back after the game. Join us at both. Let's go, Hoos. Let's get a W. It's a must-win. Orange jersey. Let's do it. Oh, we got